Father, I want to thank you for such a beautiful day here in Camden County, giving us to enjoy. And Father, we thank you so much for that. Thank you for the opportunity that we have as commissioners to serve our community. Father, we ask that you be with us. You said that we ask, you would give. We ask you now, Father, if you would give us wisdom and knowledge to make the right decisions for this county and to make sure that we conduct ourselves in a manner that is respectful of all others. Father, we are so thankful for your love, your grace. We ask that you be with us. We ask that you forgive us of our sins and keep us safe. We ask that you accept this prayer in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Remain standing as Commissioner Bob Owensworth places
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have Misty Marshall with East Tennessee Beautiful to speak, and I'm gonna allow her to go first. And, oh, I'm sorry, you gotta call the roll.
Mark Barker.
Present.
Michael Reed.
Here.
Carl Ellsworth.
Here.
Karen Astor. Here. Jim Bush.
Here.
James Holloway.
Here.
Liam Stickley.
Present.
Brent Lewis.
Here.
Ricky Hunter.
Here.
Adam Melton.
Here.
All present.
And Miss Missy Marshall from East Tennessee Beautiful will ask them to make their presentation.
I'm Missy Marshall, I'm the Executive Director of Keep Tennessee Beautiful and the State Leader for Keep America Beautiful. And I think we were invited to, there was an interest expressed for the county of Cannon to listen and hear about the benefits of becoming a Keep America Beautiful affiliate. So as the director, I oversee an affiliate network of approximately 30 affiliates. Some of the ones in this area would be Keep Coffee County Beautiful, Keep Williamson County Beautiful, Keep Nashville Beautiful. And so what we do is, as an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful, we have access to dollars that help us. Our mission is to educate and inspire people every day to take action to improve and beautify their communities. And the state of Tennessee Department of Transportation spends about $15 million a year addressing litter. Some of you may have seen some of the new public service announcements out there. Nobody Trashes Tennessee. It replaced the litter prevention campaign. A long time, it's about a 10-year campaign. Stop Litter, Tennessee's Had Enough. That was the last statewide campaign. Prior to that, some of you may remember a public service announcement, Tennessee Trash, the guy driving down the highway in the convertible throwing the trash out. So we're affiliated with TDOT. Department of Transportation funds a grant to the University of Memphis, which is, and rarely do state offices operate out of West Tennessee. It's typically in the Middle Tennessee area, but this program is about 33 years old, and a judge in Memphis, Judge Larry Potter, and a lady, Edith Heller, who was the first director of Keep Tennessee Beautiful. She served about 28 years. The second director served about 2.5 years, and I've been here since 2013. Prior to that, I served 20 years in Nashville at the state capitol and was former legislative director for TDOT. This program is funded. Your county probably receives a litter grant, and I'm not sure exactly. Every county is different. In some counties, it goes to the county mayor, and it's run out of the county mayor's office. In some counties, it goes to the solid waste director. In some counties, it goes to the sheriff's department. And so that litter grant is funded. These dollars come from the Beverage Association and the Malt Beverage Association. So for every beverage that you purchase, aside from water, There is a user fee on that, if you will, that goes into a fund, and it generates about $6 million a year, and then that's where the pot of money comes from for the litter grant program. And so the litter grant program, the money has to be spent, 30% of that must be spent, 15 to 30% of it must be spent on education. The other percentage, a lot of counties, they use that money for, if you see inmates along some of the higher traffic areas picking up litter, that money goes and funds a litter officer to supervise the inmates who pick up litter. And I'm sorry about this. I got locked out of my computer, and I have actually a presentation here. I'm not sure if I'm going to show it or not.
There is a computer there, we're trying to find out notes.
Things, some of the items, every 2 years, we have a state conference with TDOT. Like this year in September, it will be at the Nashville Airport Marriott, and it's the TDOT Keep Tennessee Beautiful Awards of Excellence Luncheon, and communities from all over the state. Our last conference, we awarded nearly $44,000 in programs. You don't necessarily have to be an affiliate to apply. If you have a program here in Cannon County that's a beautification program, to give some examples of some of the winners this year, there was a program in Memphis called Faith in Action, where the mayor worked with faith-based organizations across the county to do a countywide cleanup. And that particular program won an award. And so they may get, one year Memphis went home with $6,000. So if you've got programs, those are programs we urge you to, go to our website. They're closed for this year, but for every 2 years, a community can actually win funding for different initiatives that you're doing in your county. I think one of the reasons we were asked to come here is, many of you may be familiar, if you remember the Keep America Beautiful, the Crying Indian public service announcements. We do, it used to be like fix up, clean up, paint up, paint, and we do the Great American Cleanup. And your county has been a great partner with us, and at least hosting one cleanup. Now, our goal is always to get 100% participation and have every county in Tennessee participate in that Great American Cleanup each year in the spring. I know that other communities who have asked us to come in, there's a community of about 50,000 within Shelby County, the city of Bartlett. The mayor came to our conference 2 years ago, saw that other communities were receiving these awards and winning this money, and he thought, well, we've been doing this for years now, and the only difference is we're not getting any recognition and we're not getting funding. And so what my presentation is basically how what we were asked to present was the benefits of becoming a Keep America Beautiful affiliate. And some of the numbers that I have is different grants that different communities have received. When we talk about educating and inspiring people to take responsibility or action every day to improve your community, well, the less money that government is spending picking up litter on the highways or, cleaning up communities, whether it's blight, boarded up houses, because these things actually devalue a community. When one of the things, when my first year on the job, that a story that was told at a national conference, and I always wondered, well, did that really happen? And then I was doing a radio interview and found out that it did. A community was looking at a company coming in to their industrial site. And the economic community development person picked up the president of the company and his team at the airport, was driving them to the industrial site where they were looking at relocating their plant. And they got halfway down the road, and the president asked them to take them back to the airport. And of course, they were dumbfounded, and they were like, "Can I ask you why?" And he said, "Well, if your community doesn't take any more pride in this, why would I want to bring my employees here and invest money here, to a community that doesn't really care about their appearance?" And so I had often wondered, and I was doing a radio interview for the Great American Cleanup, and when I was telling that story to the guy doing, the talk show host who was doing it, he said, that happened in my community, and it was Monroe, Louisiana. And so I was like, I often wondered, I use that as an example of why it's important, because when people actually take pride in where they live, other people want to come and be a part of that. Most of the affiliates that we have right now are in East Tennessee, because when this first started, typically you see areas that are high tourist areas, because, obviously their number one industry is tourism dollars. People do not want to go to places that are not clean, that are littered and blighted, and so, and then typically, in upper East Tennessee, with mountains and lakes and streams where people actually get their revenue dollars, they saw the value in this. They saw the value in doing the process of becoming an affiliate. Once you become an affiliate, and every community is different. In one community, our affiliate Keep Kingsport Beautiful is part of the chamber. Keep Tipton Beautiful, the mayor's office has that, and he has a director that's Keep Tipton County Beautiful, but she's also their codes officer. So if you've got someone that's off the square and they've got cars in the yard and trash in the yard and continually send them, she's the person that would go and say, you're in violation of this code, and need you to clean it up, and then however the judge deals with it. So the affiliates are different. There's not one size fits all. It's what best fits your community. And so the presentation that I was presenting basically is give you examples of what other communities do. I can tell you that for every dollar, if any of you are familiar with the Tennessee Promise program that the governor's office has been promoting, that students can go to a 2-year college, and it's paid for by the state, but one of the caveats is the students have to do 8 hours of community service. And so we have worked with Tennessee Promise and the Department of Transportation in providing those opportunities for community service hours, whether it's through recycling programs or cleanups, roadside cleanups, or illegal dump sites. Well, in our affiliate in Keep Putnam County Beautiful actually has held cleanups where they have volunteers. They have a board. I have a board. My board is appointed by the governor, and it's a 14-member citizen board. And then representation from the Department of Transportation, Department of Tourism, Department of Economic Community Development, Department of Agriculture, and this one? Agriculture. And then Department of Environment and Conservation. And then the citizen part of that is a representative from the Malt Beverage Association, a representative from the Beverage Association, the Tennessee Federation of Garden Clubs, higher education. We have a professor from Middle Tennessee State that sits on our board. And this board is an advisory board that kind of oversees the projects that we do. Some of the projects that have spawned over the past 4 years, we have a children's book. Some of you may be familiar with Nancy, the comic strip Nancy and Sluggo. We partnered with the author of that comic strip and produced a children's book and based the content on the Tennessee Blue Book. For instance, Nancy and Sluggo become friends with the state wild animal raccoon, and it's basically an educational tool that instills pride in kids. And we donated a copy to your public library would have one. We donated a copy to every public library in the state. And the proceeds, we sell the book, and the proceeds go to establish a scholarship fund for students going into the community service and environmental fund. We partnered with Tennessee Valley Authority and started a program called Tennessee River Beautiful, and sponsored 4 to 5 cleanups across the state along, actually the Tennessee Valley region, in coordination with local governments and local chambers along the Tennessee River. These are just some of the programs that we do, and some of the scholarships or funding that communities have received. Keep Kingsport Beautiful has received a $20,000 grant, and that can be used for community improvement. If it's a memorial garden, if it's a farmer's market or a basically turning making a public space into a beautiful space. So these are just some of the things that we do. I actually had a video to show you. One of the things, we don't actually go in and try to recruit. Because, you know, this has to be something that a community wants to do, and I commend whoever invited us here and asked us to do this. That's the start, is to, you know, at least educate yourself, learn what programs are out there, and seeing the value for the volunteers. The more that the citizens are taking a role and keeping their town beautiful, the less money that's having to be spent in public works and roadside assistance and things like that. So, do you have any questions? I apologize for the technical difficulty here. The university tried to get me logged on into my computer, but it's not working, so. Questions? We do have some, farmer bags here. There's one thing that we do, we actually try to redistribute items at our conference. This year our conference is law enforcement themed. There's 3 aspects to what we do: education, engagement, and enforcement. And we actually, we like for enforcement to be the last resort. The last resort. Because we realize that, law enforcement have lots of other issues to deal with aside from litter, but litter does, as our chairman of 30 years, Judge Larry Potter, who started 7 environmental courts, will tell you litter begets litter, and a lot of times if people aren't, they don't have a respect for the law, or the land, there's typically, you get boarded up houses, and you get, blighted areas, you are breeding, it's a breeding ground for crime. So, like I said, every community is different, every community has a different challenge, but I wish I could show you more, but the primary, the benefits is basically having a designated leader in your community, that helps encourage and inspire your citizens to take part and take pride in the community. What's your dollars? Yes, it's TennesseeBeautiful.org.
Thank you.
And I've got a business card that
Give a hoot, don't pollute.
the carpenter bags, our goal is for every car in Tennessee to have these in them.
Oh, these are car bags.
Hang them on your headrest. Knock them down the road.
Put this in my
My
wife's
trash,
box.
my litter bag, and you're gonna see.
So my car won't need to be bigger. What's the one on the Sesame Street?
The roadless trash.
Oscar? Yeah, she's Oscar. Here.
Well, in March of each year, the governor designates that Tennessee Beautiful Month. So the Great American Cleanup Period is March 1st through May 31st in Tennessee, where we encourage communities to hold cleanups. Our conference in Nashville is September 19th. It's just a one-day conference. We're actually doing a law enforcement training on the Tennessee litter law. And the Commissioner of Homeland Security and Safety will be speaking and addressing. Another big issue is the uncovered load. That's one day where, you're gonna see public service messages, cover the load or cover the cost. It's illegal, to not charge your items when you're driving down the road. There's gonna be more of a push from the state to educate citizens on the litter law. Any other questions?
No questions, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to item number 5, employee of the year presentation, Colonel Kim Stone. Presenting the county employee of the year. Y'all come forward, please. The local American Legion gives awards away for employees of the year for different departments, and this year it's to the county employee, and I think we're gonna do it at the high school, the emergency responders, but tonight's the county employee.
This is a great honor and a great privilege for the American Legion folks here in Woodbury to come and take part in honoring these outstanding employees of the county. And we usually do the county and the first responders, but Monday, as you know, is 9/11 Day, and we're having the Patriots Day ceremony at the high school at 10:30 in the gym. You're all invited to attend. It's gonna be a Cracker Jack thing. We wanted the kids to take part in seeing all of our local heroes. These are the heroes that keep us safe, take care of us medically, and hey, they're there ready when you need them. So it's a great honor for us, and tonight we have Christine Barrett. She's going to read the certificates, and our Vice One Commander, Bobby Bogart, is going to make the presentation. And the 2017 Outstanding Employee for the county is Mr. James Estes. Please come forward, sir.
He's employee of the year for them. He's a custodian.
Okay, the American Legion citation for meritorious service. For meritorious service and loyal cooperation, James Estes, outstanding employee, courthouse custodian in Cannon County for 2017, is awarded this citation in recognition thereof by Hilton Stone Post 279, Department of Tennessee, the American Legion, the 7th day of September 2017, signed by our commander and adjutant. Mr. James Estes started his employment with Cannon County in December of 2006 as a part-time custodian. After the retirement of a longtime custodian, Johnny Womack, Mr. Estes took on the responsibility of full-time employment. He is known for his work ethic and makes sure everything is operating properly. Mr. Estes loves his job and loves everyone he comes in contact with. He has a heart of gold and is loved by everyone who works at the courthouse.
Dave, I want to release you this award, Employee of the Year. Years, you're a good man, and you're very deserving of it.
Appreciate you so much.
I love you.
Next, Corey, Corey Davenport wants to give a report from the Industrial Development Board, and I think he has a guest with him, and I'm trying to get my guest first so that
I told y'all guys that I would come back to y'all when we had some more news about some things that have been going on. Y'all know we've had the THC building over here, what was formerly the THC building, for the last, 7 years, 10 years, something like that. 7, I believe. I can gladly and happily say that they are no longer in Cannon County. That building is now vacant. They vacated the premises August the 31st, and that building was turned back over to us. Our board was in, I don't want to say a lawsuit, but we were in a legal matter with them that we came to an agreement in July through mediation with them. Our board at that time, this is our lawyer, Sumner Bolden. He is also the lawyer for the Rutherford County Industrial Development Board as well. He's got a lot of experience, been doing this a lot of years. I brought him tonight to give you the opportunity, if you had questions for me or him, he can answer some things maybe that I can't. But I can tell you, we did agree to them by unanimous decision in July to, in essence, buy out their ability to own that building. In their lease agreement, they had the option to buy that building. Or we could buy that building, or we could continue the lawsuit and go on forever and ever and pay him, which I'm sure he's glad we would do. They would pay their lawyers' fees, whatever. But we decided to mediate that. The amount we pay, that we're going to eventually pay them, we agreed upon was $250,000, which was the price basically of the building. The building, I think we owe $230,000 on it. They could have bought it for that. I think my way of thinking, and I think the majority of our board's way of thinking is we've got a solid building now that's in very good shape. I can tell you, without violating anything, I've had 4 different offers in 7 days of what we could do with that. One particular offer, we could actually almost double our money that we paid them to leave. But we've got some things to weigh out, which is, you know, we could sell the building and take the money and put it in the bank, but what good is that going to do us? I think our job, and our board agrees as well. We've got some board members, got Gail and David, John. I don't know if I missed anybody else, but our job is to find a viable company that goes into that building that will produce jobs for Cannon County. Now, maybe we sell that building to them at a certain point in time, so that we don't, you know, have to be landlords, and it also would put it back on the tax rolls, which is also a good thing because it brings more money in for y'all to spend. But you know, it is what it is. I want to be open and honest. I want to give the public, I'm glad there's a big crowd here. I wish this was the same crowd that was at every meeting, but y'all got any questions? I mean, be happy to answer them. Sumner's here. He can talk about the legal stuff. The building is in good shape structurally. We have some problems with the way they've left us electrically, but we're going to work through them. And like I say, we've got some very good potential there, because one of the things that we struggle with, and y'all know this, is either we don't have a building, or we have land, or we don't have land that has no water, no sewage, that type of thing. So it's a constant struggle trying to find a way to bring business to Cannon County when you don't have the infrastructure, or when you don't have the building to put somebody in. Right now, we've got a building. And so I'm happy to say that that's our next step, is trying to find a company that fits. So, questions, feel free, from the audience as well.
Potentially, Corey, how many people do you think that building could employ?
Oh, me. You could, I mean, it's a 25,000 square foot building with 5,000 additional feet to the left of it. So total 30,000 square foot. I mean, you could realistically put 25, 30, 40 people in there once you put all your equipment. Structurally, the building's great. Even on the inside, it's very good. We've got some electrical problems that they've left us, but hey, you know, that's something we can overcome pretty quick. And like I say, the turnover on this, and we haven't even marketed this building. So, I mean, if you think about that, I've got 4 offers right now that we could do something with, and I haven't even put it on the market. If I drop this on the TVA, I'm going to have a whole lot of, you know, more offers. So we got to figure the TVA website. I should be more clear on that, but we've got great potential. But you know, we basically paid them $250,000 to leave, and I'll be honest, that's $250,000 well spent, because they employed 6, 7 people the whole time they were here. Y'all know their history with their personal property taxes. They had to be sued. I mean, it's just constantly. I'm not going to go in and berate them because they're not here. They're gone. I'm just happy they're gone. But open and transparent. What you see is what you get. So if you want to know anything, please, by all means, ask me.
Mr. Davenport, are there any companies here in the county that can expand into that
Yes.
building? Is that being considered?
Yes. Without going into detail, yes. And I can't. For some of this, I mean, we have confidentiality agreements that we cannot talk about, but yes, there are. And that is really, to be honest with you, in my opinion, our first primary goal is to expand what we have here. We should always be trying to help what we have here first, and then look toward the outside.
Corey, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Would there be maybe a contract or something the next time so that you wouldn't have to pay this kind of money to get somebody out?
Well, we had a lease agreement with them this time, but in their lease agreement, they had the opportunity to buy the building, but they chose not to. They did not want the building. I know the $250,000 we paid them, what, 60 or 90,000 was toward their lawyer fees. So, you know, I feel better knowing that in some ways, they're not just getting 250,000 and running. But, you know, it all depends. To be honest with you, I don't want to be a landlord. I don't think we should be in the landlord business. I don't think we should be leasing. I think because it creates too much headaches, too much trouble.
I understand what you're saying, but if we don't have buildings for places to go, then we're not gonna get it right.
But if I don't lease and if I sell it to them, it goes back on the tax rolls and you get the money. So that's the advantage of selling it outright. As long as we got a viable company in here, like Crane, for example, when we sold that last year, that put what, $17,000-$18,000 back in the county. So because they have to pay the property taxes at that point, which helps all citizens. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Do they have any recourse to appeal this decision or anything like this, or is it over? They've
No.
agreed and signed off on it?
It's a done deal. There's a release and settlement agreement that was signed, I guess last week, even though we had negotiated that in July. There was some language that had to be worked out, but it's done now.
And for the record, this is not a judgment, this is not a penalty, and this is not a fine. There has been no judge anywhere that said we owe them this money. This was an agreed upon mediation with their loggers, and our board, and their president and vice president, period. Any other questions for Sumner? Anybody from the crowd? I'll keep you updated as we go along. Hopefully next time I come, we'll have a business. Yes, sir.
What's the building rate, but what's concrete structure over there? What could go in that building and be safe? Could you put a stamping outfit in it?
You could do quite a bit. It was actually the Cumberland mold plastic.
But the mold machine sits on top of the ground. A lot of things, but Precious got as much underneath the ground as he had enough, and concrete has to be certain.
Correct.
Things to hold the.
We would have to rate that, but honestly, if we sell the building, it's up to them what they put it in
I
there.
just
But
wondered what was stressed on.
I can't honestly answer that because I'm not, you know, into the specifics of what it was. We hadn't been able to get into the building for the last 7 years, you know, so right now we're just learning what we got and ready to go. But I'm ready to put something there. And I'm ready to, you know, try to employ some people in Cannon County instead of you having to drive out of Cannon County, which is what we should be doing, in my opinion. So, is that it?
Any other questions? Corey, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all being here and giving an update on that. Now we'll open the meeting to 15-minute public comment period. Speaker that wants to speak to the commission, you've got 3 minutes. We'll have anybody who would like to speak to the commission at this time. Yes, sir.
My name's Rich, and I know this is or something. I did a poll on the internet of the county board's report on what went on. Could you tell everybody what the results of that? Can you not hear me?
I just want to hear if you would tell us what that report was all about.
Yeah. Like I said, my name's Rick Shaner. I did a poll on the internet after the Channel 4.
Give him a microphone. What you got for?
Okay, is this better?
There we go.
All right, my name is Rick Shaner. I did a poll on the internet concerning the Channel 4 reports a couple weeks ago. And I just want to tell everybody what came of that. First, I want to clear up a couple of little pieces of misinformation. Someone has said this is a push poll. Now, this is not a push poll. I didn't go out to anybody and put this in anybody's face and ask them a question. This was all done on the internet. It's all totally anonymous. So that is false. The other thing is that there was only 19 responses to this. As of when I printed this out last night, there were 198. Right now, there are over 200, but I don't have all that data. There has also been a rumor that I needed to go out and talk to everybody in the county to make this valid. That's absolutely false. I needed 94 responses. to make this a valid survey. I got over twice that, so it's perfectly valid. Matter of fact, it's a 95% plus or minus 1.46% validity rate. These are the questions. I'm gonna put them on my Facebook page in the morning or tonight if I get time, so everybody will be able to see it, but I want to go over this. The first question was, do you think Mike had anything to do with the letters? 86% of the people in this county that took the poll said yes. Next question was, do you think Adam was responsible? There was 32% said, or 35%, excuse me, said yes. Next, do you think either one of them should have went to the authorities when they learned about the letters? 86% said yes. You're gonna notice a thing here, or a pattern here in a minute. Do you think Mike should resign as exec? 86%. Do you think Adam should resign? 82%. Do you have any confidence, let's get one. Would you support the commission asking for Mike's resignation? 85%. Do you have any confidence in Cannon County government? 85% said yes. To me, this is, I'm not gonna say it's a mandate, but it's a pretty clear indication.
85% said no.
Oh, I'm sorry, 85%, you're right, Brent. 85% said no, they don't have any confidence in the government in this county. To me, that's pretty telling right now, when 85% of the population thinks the 10 of you sitting around this table and you are not doing your job for this county. I would love to see somebody do something to clean this up. I mean, we've been going on with the budget mess forever. Guys, do your job or quit.
Can I speak? We're allowed 3 minutes each, Mr. Shaner, thank you for
You're welcome. But you want me to stay up here and answer her?
No, it'll be her 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I am.
Mr. Schaefer, are you a native of Cannon County?
No, ma'am, but I'm not sure what.
Wait just a minute, I just have a quick question. Are you born and raised here?
No.
How long have you lived here?
About 17 months, year and a half.
Your information other than Channel 4 News about Mike or the commissioners or anything going on in this town, where did you get your information from? Wait a minute, let me just say, was it from the internet or just people talking?
A lot of
Other
it
than what the
was,
news had?
a lot of it was me doing research into contracts that the county has
So
entered
this is not
into.
strictly
No, this
pointed
is
at
not,
Mike.
excuse me?
This is not strictly pointed at Mike. It's
No,
pointed at
no,
Cannon.
no,
Okay.
and that's
It's
why the
pointed at
last
the
question,
commissioners
that's
and
why
not
the
to
last
Mike.
question said, do you have confidence in Cannon County government?
Okay.
85% said no.
So you don't know anything about any of these gentlemen's background or Mike's background or that they were raised here or anything that nature. This is just a 200 people survey on the internet, right?
Yes, but
Called
can I,
Monkey Survey.
it's called surveymonkey.com,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what it
It's a
says.
site.
So why is it called Survey Monkey?
Why is Google called Google? I don't know, ma'am. That's what they named it. It's just a web. To me, that's irrelevant. Can I ask you a question? What does how long I have lived in this county have to do with whether or not I feel things are not run right here and they need to be run
I'm
better?
native of this county, I was born here.
Congratulations.
Okay, I'm proud of these people here, and what I think is a shame and disgrace to this whole community. You got 200 people on the survey of 13,800 that's in the county, 2,500 to 2,800 in the city, and 200 is not even a percentage of the whole county population.
Most polls
You're
like
saying,
this.
well, you're just getting a calculation of what they give you on the polls, right?
I'm sorry, I don't, what do you mean?
Well, I'm not too sure exactly what I mean, but when you've got 200 people that respond to your thing, that does to me, you know, that's just like, okay, I bought a popsicle for a penny, you got less than 1% of the total population that responded to your survey.
What would the math be? 0.07, just about, give or take?
1% of 13,000 is 130.
It's what?
130, so I got about a 1.35.
Percent of the whole total population that most of the counties have had to change.
Now, I will counter that with, in the presidential election, it was called with less than 1% of the results in.
You know what, this right here reminds me of small Washington DC.
It does me too, it's
The
sad.
government, the people trying to downfall the government, you know, how much music comes to these things that always ends right. I've been to Mike Gannon's office 3 times. I've been raised in Vermont for 60+ years within a four house radius, okay? I know there's been a lot of bashing going on. I don't have social media because I just don't want social media. But, you know, for a year or better, they have people that gotten on there, they have belittled, they have degraded, they have slandered. I don't know where it started from, but this comes from my friends from the phone, okay? They have damaged his character, and not only have they damaged his character, they've done his secretary, who is one of the finest women you'll ever find in Candy County that never opened her mouth to anything. She can get emails, she can get texts, she can get.
When's her time?
And Mike, as far as I'm concerned, if these people here that know me, if you have anything to say to me now, say it. If you have any derogatory statement or any harmful thing to say to me, say it now. Don't wait to get behind my back or put it on social media or threaten me. Because, you know, it don't bother me to speak what I think is the truth. I think these men here, they do what they can do with what they got to do with. I'm proud of Cannon County, but am I proud of it now? No. The downfall of the government that's run this county for several years, I'm not proud of it at all. And I don't ask you to resign, Mike, I'll stand behind you 100%. I called people and talked to people this week, and I've not had a bad word said from anybody about you. They said you was honest and truthful. So you stay where you're at until somebody else like tell you go. If you want to run for re-election, if the people want you in, so be it.
Thank you, Diane, and, time's up, and, that was late.
Well, Diane, I've known you all your life. I totally disagree with 90% of what you said. This bunch they have not done their job up here, or our tax rates would not be as what they are today. You can sit back there and say that Mike's done a great job and all this stuff. If he'd done a great job, we wouldn't have been on the national news, would we? Would we have been on the news?
I think that's a shame and disgrace to call down for you.
Then what you just said then is a disgrace to these women that he spoke about for that conversation.
What I'm saying, you know what, you need to start at the beginning, Paul.
Your meeting,
Not just start.
your comments needs to be called to the position.
Hey, her comments wasn't to the
That's
meeting.
right.
Her comment was not. Her comment was not to me.
That's right.
We sat in here in March and had an ethics committee meeting. Who remembers? Mark Parker there said there wasn't enough evidence to sue us.
No, the attorney said that we didn't have the
Wait a minute.
authority to. Two of them.
Two of them.
Two attorneys that
Okay.
both passed the bar in Tennessee and know more about the law of Tennessee than us on the committee,
Well-
committee did.
Well, I looked it up. You were supposed to turn it over to a higher authority than listening to them that was representing. No, everybody knows it was supposed to be turned over to other people. You're the chairman of the ethics committee, you didn't do nothing about it. You know the conversation was had, and you done nothing about it. You done nothing, Mark. You profess to be a Christian, and you let these women be degraded with the comments that was made in this county. You sat right there and told Katrina George that she didn't have no evidence. You went to her personally and tried to get her to drop the charges. You personally went to her, you sat right here and said it. And y'all sit here and tell people of this county that y'all represent the people of the county with information like this going on?
And I nominated her, I
It
nominated
don't matter
her.
what you nominated.
And I
when you're-
voted for her
You
3
can't do
times.
it on the bias. Okay, you nominated her to get her to quit voting.
No,
You nominated her to get her not to pursue the,
no.
well, that's what you said,
I
wasn't
did
it?
not say that.
What'd you say?
I
Explain
nominated,
to me what you said then. Did you go to her before or after? Answer the question.
before, or after what?
Did you go to her before you had the information on the tape or after the
I didn't
information?
know all about that tape.
Wait a minute. You gotta decide which way it is. It says yes or no. You just said you nominated her. Did you
I
nominate? You
voted
nominated
for-
her after the fact, Mark, cause that was after the meeting. You
You
nominated
can
her
ask,
after the
you
fact.
can ask her all about it.
I'm sure everybody else has asked her all about it. I'm not gonna ask her. I'm going off what was recorded and was said in this room right here.
We didn't have any authority to do anything, and I
You
was.
did have authority.
We
You did
told-
have authority.
We told them to take it to the higher authorities, but we
You were
don't.
supposed to take it.
No,
The
we
committee
weren't.
was supposed to take it.
No.
That's what the rule says. That's what TSAS says. I've got the information over there in the folder right now.
I'm not the only one on the committee.
Didn't say that, but you was chairman.
Right.
Cause he asked you that night to resign. Submit your letter of resignation that night, and you said you wasn't going to.
I took it all very seriously. I read every single complaint from the word for word, the whole thing, and the whole public got to hear it. And we couldn't do any more than that.
You couldn't.
We did,
You didn't.
we
know
did
nothing
not
about it.
belittle any of the complaints.
You didn't.
We
you
just
didn't know
merely
anything about
said
that.
that we had no
Nothing about
authority.
the letter.
All right, order, call your times up.
Hey, her time wasn't up.
Well, but you-
Okay, I'm gonna ask one more thing. I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna say one more thing. You can put it in the if you like. Here's the thing about this. I'm not a Christian. I don't attend church nowhere. But I can sit here and tell you right now that these 3 men, this guy right here is a fall guy. I've known him all his life. He's a good guy.
Your time's up, Paul.
I'm gonna say it anyway.
Say too much. You said all you're gonna say.
Go.
Okay, anybody else? Gordon?
There's only one poll that I'm worried about, and that's in 2018 in August. If you don't like what they're doing, if you don't like what he's doing, if you don't like the zoning, if you don't like the taxes, if you don't like that, don't vote on the monkey poll. Go to the polls and vote at the ballot. If you don't like the commissioners you've got in your district, then find you somebody you like in your district. And if you can't find somebody, go see Matt Tepley and pick up papers and run. But be involved. Don't just do what this is. Come to the meetings. Start understanding what's going on in the meetings. Question them, call them, talk to them. If I've got something to say to Mike Gannon, I guarantee you I went to Mike Gannon and said it. And if I've got something to say to any of these 10 right here, I've said it to them too. And that's the way I am, that's the way I'm gonna be. Vote. If you don't vote, then shut up.
I'm gonna allow him. Sir.
Tom Floyd. And I've never lived here my whole life like you, though I wish I had. Beautiful place. I love this county. I love this community. Nicest people I've ever known. But I think the elephant in the room here that everybody's trying to look around is that we had 2 men who worked for us as commissioners and executive in a room downstairs, howling, laughing about how women had been treated badly in this county. Ha ha ha, that's funny. That sure shut Dottie up, didn't it? How was that funny? How is it that you, Mr. Gannon, knew what was in those letters before they were ever out? These are questions that are important and need to be answered. And I feel embarrassed for this county. I don't want to change a thing here. But I want this fixed. There was some criminal activity going on here. And we're trying to look around it like it didn't exist. This is real. This is not the kind of stuff that we, as citizens in America, let alone Cannon County, the nicest place in the whole country, need to be putting up. This is outrageous and unbelievable. And if you're not outraged, you should be.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Yes, sir, I don't know your name, come from.
I ain't gonna beat up on anybody, I don't think anybody will beat up on us. This is about the zoning issue. Been doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of people in the county such as that. Guys, there's a lot of problems in that county, it's gonna have to be worked out. And adding the load of doing zoning right now, I think would be I think zoning can be a good thing, but I have studied that map extensively through the tax map, who owns, there's cherry picking who's in it, who's out of it, it's not right. That could be proved in court. I just wish y'all would really consider that and just not follow somebody because somebody likes the idea. It could be good, but the zoning right now, if y'all pass it, wouldn't stop the gun range. You could put another gun range out there, it ain't gonna stop that. It wouldn't have stopped the asphalt plant because it's an area that's what would go there. There's nothing that would prohibit that. Everybody talks about the gun range and the rock quarry and all. If they're in that area commercial, they're most likely going in because they're gonna come in with a row of lawyers and they're gonna get it passed. They're gonna railroad it. So I would like to ask everybody to put this off until the county can get their budget straight, because I asked the guy from Trousdale, tried to get him to answer me on what the permits cost and all. He never would answer that. He said it's a moneymaker. I don't want the county to be a moneymaker off my back. And I don't think nobody else wants that.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm Greg Johnson, I'm a resident here in Cannon County. I'd also like to speak on the zoning resolution. The resolution requires the creation of a new codes compliance officer. Obviously, that person is gonna have to be paid. The resolution also requires the compliance officer to perform certain tasks, maintain records, transport around the county to do inspections. There's additional costs there. Those costs are not covered in this resolution. We have no idea what it's gonna cost for this compliance officer. Considering the county is basically broke, I don't know how we're supposed to pay for this other than through additional property taxes. I have spoken with the Regional Planning Commission for the Upper Cumberland Valley, and unlike what it said in the Canyon County Courier, where fees would cover these expenses, that is a misnomer. The fees will not cover the expenses, not as according to what's written in this document. So I would think that it would be irresponsible to accept this zoning resolution until we understand what's gonna cost the county, and it should go through the normal budgeting process and go through that process instead of tacking this on top of the budget that we already went through here recently. Also, I don't think people realize that also as part of this resolution, Cannon County gives up its rights to control the zoning in Cannon County. Article 8, Section 2, approval by Regional Planning Commission. Nothing in the zoning can be amended without the Regional Planning Board's approval. So once we accept this, we're locked in, and if there's something in here that we don't like, we can't change it on our own. We have to go out of the county to the Regional Planning Board and beg them to allow us to amend this. So if this resolution is adopted, I strongly recommend that we remove Article 8, Section 2 on the Regional Planning Commission on no such amendment shall be effective unless, et cetera. It's here, I got it if anybody wants to read it. Thank you for your time. Well, was anybody else speaking?
I think our 15 minutes is over past, and we'll move on to the item number 7. You'll remember we had a recess meeting, waiting on appropriations from the school board, and, you should have those before you. If you don't, I have a copy here. But we have, before we can send our budget in for approval from the comptroller's office, I have to have your approval of the school board, their appropriations. It's this page right here. You'll have a motion to approve what the school board has for appropriations.
The only thing I've got to ask about this school board budget, we gave them extra money besides what the maintenance of effort cost us. Then we turned around and gave them $250,000 that they were paying. Let me back up. They did, not me. They turned around and gave them $250,000 so they wouldn't have to pay on the school buildings that were supposed to be added on to and so on. Then they come back and they show us that they're in the red still when they do their budget. How in the world do you bring a piece of paper up here and say, we're still in the red after we gave them this money? What did they do with it? Where's it going? You know, our grade averages in our schools are down in the state of Tennessee. We're not showing the bang for the buck that you people are paying on your taxes to justify giving them the money that they have. And I just can't go along with it because it don't make sense. You know, they can keep on giving the money up here and they're gonna keep showing that they're in the red. I want some answers before I give them another red dime, or I'll vote to give them money, and I haven't checked.
I thought we voted to approve their budget the last meeting we had.
Y'all did.
You voted to approve the, you voted to approve what you gave them for property tax, but as far as how it was spent, we haven't voted on that yet.
We voted on the whole thing.
No, school board, they met later, we only got it there to go. We haven't had it, but they were there.
And like I said, you know, we haven't seen that piece of paper yet.
Your only authority is what you give them off property tax. The school board's appropriate, it's totally up to them how they distribute that. Anything else? We have to have this approved, it's been approved by the school board, how to, divide the money out. We have to have this approved by the county commission before we can submit to the comptroller's office a, approval of our overall budget. You'll have a motion to approve the appropriations as presented by the school board. I don't see anyone from the school board here tonight, so I wonder why. You'll have a motion to approve the appropriations by the school board.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Mark Barker, and second by Russell Reed, will call the roll.
Mark Barker,
Yes.
Russ Reed,
Yes.
Todd Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Karen Astor,
I'm an employee of the school board. It does not affect my, vote, and I vote yes.
Jim Bush,
How can y'all vote for something when you ain't seen the final paperwork? How can you do that?
That is.
You said you just got it a couple days ago and I ain't seen nothing. No, I vote no.
James Holloway.
No.
He vote no. Glenn Stickley,
No.
Brent Bush,
Yes.
Richie Hunter.
Yes.
Adam Melton,
I too am an employee of the County Board of Education, and I vote yes.
okay, got 7 for and 3 against, motion carried.
Item number 8, consideration of zoning ordinance recommended by the planning commission. Planning commission has been looking at this for about 2 years, I think, and, you had it before you, well, we've had it before us for some time, so I'll open the floor from the commissioners
is evasive. What we were wanting to do, or what we was asking to look at, was to keep certain corporations or other businesses from intruding on the neighborhoods and stuff like that. Which that was brought in about the rock quarry, and that was what was brought up about the gun range. But instead of doing that, they started encroaching on people's homes, buildings. They got an ordinance in there where, you know, they're wanting 10 feet distance between each house. If you're out in my area, like some of the other people, if you have a house fire, 10 feet ain't nothing. If you got a good wind, he'll take the rest of them right along with you. Because our fire departments are farther and scattered apart. That don't make no sense either. And then the main question is, just like the gentleman said, we have already went through our budget. We've already have our budget set. We don't know what it's gonna cost to implement it. Fees are not gonna cover it. It will not be self-sufficient. There's gonna have to be tax dollars involved. And that's why I'm against it. Because we don't have the money. And therefore, you know, I'm sorry. And if they wanna come back, as far as the evasive part, you know, they need to dial down that part of it. And also, the way the map looks and the way it's lined out, it is not the same. People are not treated the same. On one end of it, they're pile driving the people with the zoning. On the other end, you have people that it's diverted off. It's not an equal deal with the people. All the taxpayers of this county should be treated the same. I don't care whether it be zoning or anything else this county has to offer. They have to be treated the same. And this zoning policy is not treating everybody the same. And that's all I can say.
Anything else?
Yes, I got some items to add. It's been said that the fees will pay for this. And the commission got a presentation from the planning commission, the 2010 to 2014 commission got a presentation from the planning commission. The schedule of fees have been greatly changed. Under the new plan that they submitted, it is $50 fee, flat. Under the original presented about 2012, a single family residence at duplex was $100. Multiple family, mobile park, and commercial was $150. An industrial area was $200. A rezoning application was $45. For a use on review, special exception or conditional use was $75. A fee to appeal was $45. I went down to the tax assessor's office this morning and asked her how many homes were built in the county. 2016 was the last complete year. I'm sure this includes the city. I cannot break it out into the county. I didn't think to ask. There were 58 homes countywide. $50 a home if they all had to go before the board of zoning is $2,900. Macon County, total cost $61,844. Trousdale County, which my understanding is a metropolitan county with a population of 8,271 people, last census. Total is $81,855. The code enforcement officer alone county is pay and benefits $66,779. And it's gonna bring in $2,900. I'm like him. I can't see enacting something that we're gonna have to subsidize. I keep hearing you can't run the county like a business. Well, we dang sure ain't succeeding and run it like a government. And why have a change in the fees? And one more thing, I'll let Miss Karen have the floor, send her raise her hand. Who's gonna be the Board of Zoning Appeals? The Planning Commission? Or are you gonna appoint a new board? Is the board gonna be paid? And if it is, how much? And who's gonna be on the board? And who's gonna pick them? I'm done, Ms. Karen.
I want to thank the planning commission for all the work they've done on this. I know they've worked hard to do this on this. Before, my consensus was that most of the people wanted it, but now I'm hearing the cost. Plus, I think what most people actually are wanting is zoning on the industry and business and not on their homes. That's the consensus I get. They want to keep the businesses and the industry in certain areas, but they don't want anybody telling them what to do with their property, their homes, or whatever. That's a consensus that I get from the people that's calling me or talking to me.
Well, just like I was telling you, you know, the people that are calling me and the people that are seeing me on the street or whatever, they saying, well, you know, how in the world can, you know, you zone somebody on this side of the county over here by the road this way, and then on the other side of the county, they're let free.
My house was built in 1952, the year I was born, so I didn't build it. But it don't set 30 foot from the road. If something happened to that house, can I put it back where it's at? Cause there's nowhere else to put it any further back. I mean, and I think some other places in the county is gonna come up with the same problem. And I don't want somebody telling me what kind of tree or what kind of bush or what kind of building I can put on my property. If I wanna go out and buy a little building to put out there, that should be my privilege, I feel.
The planning commission has been, doing a good job for 24 or 5 years. They have the authority over every, lot under 5 acres. And, Gary's still here. Nichols, Gary Nichols, you go for the planning commission when you're gonna plat out something. It's been working good for this long, and it's been doing what the people wanted it to do. The zoning that they brought to us, Russell, you're right about those fees. The plan they brought to us earlier was not, you know, one they wanted to put forth. There's about 10 people on this board though, is that right? Glenn, how many's on it? 7, okay, 7. Some of them are here tonight. But they worked real hard on this, but I think they need to work a little bit more on it to make it more palatable to more of the citizens, because, you know, I believe we're the only, there's only 2 other counties in Upper Cumberland that have got zoning, is that right?
That's correct.
That's correct. And we don't wanna put something on the people that they just don't want. And I agree with Karen, most of the things that people want to do is to zone certain things out, and then the state of Tennessee won't let you zone certain things out, so you're sort of tied. I mean, if it's legal, you're gonna have to put it somewhere. I mean, so, and licenses, that's right, but you have to have fees. I don't want fees to have something that costs everybody else money. So I think that we need to let the planning commission work a little bit longer on something that is a little bit more powerful. Now, Jim, your question was it on Highway 53 that north was not everything, Highway 53 toward Gasaway is not zoned the same way the south road than
No, I'm
Highway
talking-
53
I'm
on the
talking about-
south?
I'm talking about 70 going towards McMinnville, and then the 4 lanes going towards Murfreesboro.
I didn't pick up on that, it was 53 that I saw, it was the hilly area.
Well, I mean, you know, that's true, but the most of what's going on is happening over here on the 4 line.
Most of
It's not uniform.
And that's
from
gonna
one end to
continue,
the
that's
other.
gonna continue, because businesses won't be next to a road where they got customers. Unless they're a business, you know, it's off-site, you know.
What would be the business?
A car lot. A car lot would wanna be where you got.
Well, maybe they might wanna have a car lot over here.
They might do, but you can't, you could have something over there,
But
like a car lot.
You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not uniform. It's not uniform.
Okay.
The map is not uniform. And besides that, it's not even marked what's what. There's not a name of no road that's on that map. Nobody can look.
Identified better.
Everybody can look at it. Even people that live in this county, they have a hard way of knowing what's what.
Now, the roads need to be identified.
They need to be identified, and everything needs to be uniform. That's all I ask.
Yes, I've had call after call after call wanting some. Chris, you had some questions about some areas and I think we probably do need to maybe relook at some of the areas here. But I don't wanna say, let's not vote down zoning. Let's just put this to where we can retweak it, where everybody is treated fairly. But the citizens they don't want a, they don't want a rock crush in the middle of town, you know, and how that happened, I have yet to find out how that happened.
You'll never find out.
And I've asked that question now for 4 years, and I have never found out how that happened. That's not what they want. They don't want something, they want to have some kind of control, or somebody to be in control, to keep things like that happening. Or, a junkyard next to them, you know, they don't want a junkyard next to them, build a $300,000 house, somebody comes along and builds a junkyard. People say, well, I don't want people telling me what I can do with my land. But if it affects your neighbor and it affects other people, I think people have a right to say what you're gonna do with your land, if it's gonna affect your neighbor and other people.
Well, just think about this too, Richie, you mentioned about the rock quarry. How did the asphalt place come in here? None of us heard about it.
Well,
None of
that's
us
just the
started
thing,
doing
if we have some kind of zoning, at least they will have to apply, at least we will have heads up. We will have heads up saying, hey, red light, this is coming, hey, you people in the courthouse, you flock to this now, you flock to something that we don't want, and see what kind of results we get.
But to answer your question, how does this happen and we don't hear about it?
Yeah.
It's called the Tennessee. Those notices for the pollution, water pollution, and air pollution permits are printed in the Nashville paper. Our own county prints bid requests in the Nashville paper.
I don't think we should completely vote it down, I think we just need to table it and let's look at it further with the planning commission.
Does Woodbury have zoning now?
Yes.
The city of Woodbury has zoning now.
Right.
And one of the complaints, the other meeting we
That's how
had
much
was.
it costs.
Huh?
That's the cost of it.
It costs something. One of the complaints, one of the
Well,
complaints
if
the
they-
last time was the way one of the citizens had been treated by the zoning appeals board, you know, the guy that, one of the citizens of Woodbury. You know, it's something that everybody's not gonna be satisfied with, and I agree with Karen, we need to.
I've got one question. Mr. Neville, you built here in the city with zoning?
Yes.
If you need a zoning, compliance officer, where does he come from? How long does it take you to get him here and get your problem resolved?
We have a really good one right now, his name is Lynn Henry. Lynn is excellent. I
home, he gets here as soon as possible. What's your average length of time, Lisa?
He's there probably the next day.
I have heard people that have dealt with it.
Well, that's one of their, I think that's one of the stipulations in that they have to be there within a certain time.
Not in business.
It's maybe not that, but in their codes, I'm talking about codes.
We're not talking about codes.
Well, I'm talking about codes, and you're talking about codes too.
No, I'm talking about zoning.
So I think the general consensus of the commission is to, send it back to the planning commission, let them look at it, tweak it to where it's more desirable, maybe send it back later, is that what I'm getting?
Well, one more question. Glenn, you asked how much it cost the city, and you said,
Right now, what I understand, the city of Woodbury has zoning compliance officers, according to the mayor, and I talked to him, I think he's already left now. He and Shane Gannon are the ones, already on staff, are the ones that go out and check it for the social clear. Am I right?
why couldn't we have something like that?
That's
I mean,
what he told me when I went there.
why would it have to cost us anything? We could have somebody like that.
Don't mix codes up with zones.
I'm not.
It's two different things.
Oh, I know.
Totally two different things.
And these are legitimate concerns that we have here. My concern is, last month, we had a commissioners meeting just before the planning commission, and everyone knew that, and who stayed for it? I was disappointed. These issues should have been brought then. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and I've had phone calls from a lot of folks, a lot of good folks. Everyone's concerned about it. I'm concerned about it. But what we have to do is push away the untruth and get right down to the concerns. Commissioner Brooks, you asked for something to be.
Less invasive.
Well, no, less invasive. What was the other term you used?
You want to be level, everybody can read the same.
Well, what term did you use?
Uniform.
Uniform. Define uniform for me.
Equal,
Equal in what way?
equal, as far as it being uniform, everything's the same. Is that fair enough?
Some land's steep and some of it's
You
flat.
gotta go by your,
You can't
your
be,
plan.
you can't have the same, some land's steep, some's flat.
Now, I understand what you mean, I understand.
Well, I mean, all right, you saying that right there, some's got some's got hillsides and all that. Well, you go up, 70 right there, you got hillsides that are zoned industrial, commercial.
Crazy.
Okay? Now you got flat land out here on the other side of the 4 lane that it's not zoned, Not the way it is out going 70 out there in the hillside. It's not zoned the same. And this is flat land out here. It'd be prime stuff for industrial.
We'd love to have it.
So, I mean, that is what I'm calling uniform. How can you call a hillside someplace for somebody, unless you wanna use it for a dump and dump it down that hillside?
Could you be at the next planning commission meeting
Sure,
that we have?
sure.
I would like to invite all the commissioners, the last Tuesday of this month at 6 o'clock.
What's the desire of the commission?
Table.
Vote it down.
Do I have a motion to take?
I'm a-
Motion made by Karen, Ashford, and second by, I think, Jamie. Jamie Holloway, all in favor, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
No.
Okay, ayes have it, we move on to item number 5, other business, is there any other business?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Marlon D. David, Edward Earl, Watson, Harriet L. Logan.
3.
Got 3 notes.
3 to be considered, there's no notaries.
I like a motion.
Motion by Karen Astor, second by Adam Melton, all in favor, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Any other business?
Yes. What's concerning me with the people about the government here? They don't have no trust in the county government here. None at all. I don't blame. And to Jan, to Dottie, and the third lady that was involved in all this other, I apologize. It shouldn't have.
It's not your fault.
It never should have happened. Not in
But it
government.
did,
It
it
should
was
not
laughed
have
about,
happened.
I mean hysterically, Adam.
All right, we gotta have order. Nobody from the, wait a minute, Jim. Nobody from the audience is to speak. You've had your opportunity, do not speak. I'll remove you in a heartbeat. Now, Jim, go ahead.
And, you know, I apologize. The way I feel about this, I'm for my people in the third district to do what they do. I want it to be where that's what I do, is try to take care of my people. But I think it's, on another hand, that I can't understand, well, I do understand, why they would pick on women instead of a man.
Go figure.
But in all sincerity, I apologize. I've known you all my life,
Thank you.
and I apologize to all y'all three women.
That's it. Any other business?
Yes,
Mark.
we've got something else we need to do here. Reading and approval of minutes of the last two meetings.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Ross. I'm sorry. That was, we failed to put that on the agenda, and you had your copies. Remember, that's really one meeting, but it was recessed. And, so you have August 3rd and, August 22nd. Is there any comment or changes to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve them as presented? Motion made by Russell Reed, second by Richie Hunter. All in favor, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you, Russell. I simply forgot it, Mark.
Since it was pointed out that I was the chairman of the ethics committee, that was the only meeting we've ever had, and that was the first one we've ever had. I want to reiterate that, that no one on the ethics committee, I'm speaking for the others, belittled or demeaned at all any of those, letters that we got put before us that night. We did not do any such thing. In fact, we read every single thing out loud for everyone to hear, but we did not have the authority to do anything about it. Now, I've gotten anonymous letters, and I usually throw them in the trash, and it's terrible that anyone, I don't think Jan should have got one, or anybody else in this county should have gotten an anonymous letter. If you want to say something to somebody, be big enough that you can say it and look them in the eye and then disagree or agree, whichever one you want to do it, and do it. And what Corey Davenport said, the ballot box is a place to solve problems. If you've got problems in the county, then solve it at the ballot box. We're 3 years out past the last election, and still some people are on Facebook, and they should not be the level of hysteria on both sides of any of these arguments, and especially to be talking about Diane Hickman, as good of an employee as she is, and as faithful as she is to come to all of our budget meetings and give us straight answers to the best of her knowledge, and she needs to be apologized to, as well as anybody that got anonymous letters. Without some of these that are, it's terrible. It's terrible, the depth of hysteria that it's gotten to. And that's all I've got to say. But the ethics committee did not want to do anything to hurt anyone's feelings. And I think I'm speaking for Richie, and
You are, and, and we were told, Mark, it was out of our hands. There was 3 levels that we could deal with, and one was taking money, one was 3 levels anyway. None of those levels dealt with our ethics. And if whoever up to them, if they wanted to, pursue other alternatives to that.
But it's terrible for anybody
It's
to
out of
get,
the ethics committee's hands.
it's terrible to get anonymous letters, I don't like it, and I've got it. That's all I've got to say.
Anything else under other business? Glenn?
You have 6 quarterly reports.
And I don't think any of them are here, Glenn, so we'll.
Yes, they are too, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to go ahead with it.
Okay, yeah, okay, Sheriff's Department, do y'all, comparison?
I'll let everybody a copy on the table there. As far as the financial budget status, how those numbers as we get. Can't answer for anything so quick, I wouldn't think so, we would get into long enough deal. No grant, no legal matters, no special projects. Hard, 4 new people, 3 corrections and 1 officer. And right now, currently, I've got 3 officers, some certified, waiting academy dates. 2 goes in October and another deputy in
Any questions for the sheriff?
While we're talking about Darrell and the sheriff's department over there, I want everybody to look into a bond issue on building this jail. We can sell bonds and finance without having to intrude on the taxpayer. It's been done before. And, in order to get this thing started, we have got to get this jail. How many you got over there now, Darrell? 72 after they let some of them go to the state pen. What was your number before today?
I tipped off 10 last week, we got 4 out, 4 today, still leave the second 2, we got 4
Okay. So I mean, we got to do this. We can't wait around.
22 of them are female, by the way, sleeping out, 8 man cells, 1 hole.
That smells good.
So does that sound like an agreeable thing to do?
Well, while we start following, then we better do it quick, because we continue to snowball budget wise, we don't really be able to do a bond rating either. Our food is supporting us now, we're almost at junk bond status. So if we're gonna do it, we better do it.
Yeah.
Let me give you something else to think about. Same farm market today, this every day. And there's some things here at the farm market, but he's the only one that can shut that place down. When they shut that down, we gotta find beds, every inmate over 42.
How much is that a piece, Darrell? $169?
You're looking at about $85 a day to farm them out. They may go to Johnson City, they may go to Memphis. But I still gotta go get them and have them here at the court, they're not gonna bring it.
It just happened in Gray County, by the way, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Out in Coffee County picking up a prisoner, and Coffee County had 5 of their inmates, they were unloaded from Gray County.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Bass said. So y'all better think about it long and hard, what y'all gonna do.
We've been talking about it 3 years.
Well, we
We've been
can
talking
act
about
on
it
it.
3 years. When are we gonna do something?
Darrell, when can you get the law enforcement committee together?
Okay.
All right. Set up a date, get the law enforcement committee in there, and let's start working on this.
They need to meet up here, I ain't got room for them right now.
That's fine.
Don't leave the impression that bonds that don't cost anything, they still gotta be paid back. You sell bonds, but you still gotta pay that back. I mean, it's the same as borrowing money from the bank, you sell bonds.
You just put it in the open market.
Yeah, that's all you do, but
Right.
the county taxpayer will pay for it.
But
The way I understood, the way it was saying it wouldn't cost us.
No, it'll be broken up into tax-free municipal bonds.
Yes.
For the buyer.
And the taxpayers will pay it back. All right, anything else? Glenn, I believe, Glenn or Russell? I thought I saw another hand.
You ain't anybody with Darrell.
I will.
What about the rest of it, James? There are 6 due.
Emergency management, anybody give emergency management?
Were they notified, Mr. Chairman?
No, they wouldn't, Ray. That's my fault. But they should know, because everybody's given a schedule.
Now, the sheriff knew.
The sheriff knew, he wasn't notified, so everybody should know. Regional Planning Board, Mr. Hackett's here. Do you have a report you'd like to give Mr. Hackett from the Regional Planning Board? You're the secretary of the.
I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't hear you.
Would you like to give a quarterly report from the Regional Planning Board as secretary of the board?
I have not received anything from the regional planning board.
Other than, as far as I know, other than the zoning ordinance, that's all they have sent forward. General Sessions Court's not here. Circuit Court Clerk, you want to hear the Circuit Court Clerk, want to give a report. Okay, move on back to other businesses. Anyone else other business? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by James, all in favor, let it know, say aye.
Much stay and discuss some things, but feel free. We can talk when they have to, we can definitely discuss it now.